We stop at opportunities in sustainable social development. Somebody was indicating and for question before we went on break. Who is up? Are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Okay.
Please, can I hear your question?
Okay. I just got a little confused. Just after discussing the milestones and framework, you talked about challenges in sustainable development, and which you mentioned.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned climate change and environmental degradation, social and economic inequality.
Yes.
Then, after discussing the disciplinary perspective, you talked about challenges again. So, here you mentioned inequality and social exclusion, poverty and the lack of. So, I'm a bit confused. Could you please throw light on it so that I'll be understanding?
Maybe you didn't follow. Okay. There are 7 challenges I enumerated and I explained.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
The first challenge is inequality and social. The first challenge was inequality and social exclusion.
Yes.
The second was poverty and lack of basic services.
Okay.
The third was weak governance and corruption.
Yes, sir.
The fourth was education and skill gap.
Yes, sir.
Fifth was conflict and displacement.
Yes,
then
sir.
Cultural homogenization and loss of identity. Then urbanization and social fragmentation.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
After listing them, then I took time to explain each of them. I guess that was what I did.
Yes, sir, that's what you did. But prior to that, you mentioned just after when you discussed milestones and framework, you mentioned something like challenges. So maybe I'm the one who didn't get you, but here you mentioned climate change and environmental.
Okay, you didn't get it. Listen, okay. Are you listening now?
Yes, sir.
This was the outline of.
Okay.
Okay, what I did was that after that milestone, yes, we
sir.
look at the general challenges to social sustainable development. Okay. Are you together with me?
Yes, sir.
So that was the general challenges for sustainable development. Thereafter, are you following me? I went to look at sustainable development in practice. Then we look at the historical context. Then we look at the institutionalization and globalization, integration and sustainability, then the theoretical contribution. Then we look at the interdisciplinary. Then we look at the challenges now. There are specific challenges and opportunities in sustainable social development.
Okay.
These are the specific challenges. I've narrowed it now.
Okay, so the other one were the general
on it on a general concept. Yes. So now I've narrowed it to inequality, poverty, weak point, weakness, weak governance and corruption and the rest.
Thank you very much, sir.
So are you clear now?
The video.
Thank you. So we were able to tidy up with opportunities.
You can't see me. I can't hear you.
Opportunities in sustainable social development. Can I beg us to mute our mic? The background noise is getting too much, please. So this afternoon, let's look at integration with the sustainable development goals. That is integrating sustainable social development. Are you together with me? With sustainable development goal. And I try to say that social sustainable development is embedded across the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So they specifically social sustainable development is embedded in the SDG goal 1 is poverty, no poverty. Do you remember? So the sustainable social development is embedded in that. SDG goal 3 is good health and well-being. Is embedded, so social sustainable development is embedded in that goal. SDG 4 is quality education. 5 is gender, 10 is reducing inequality, 11 is sustainable cities and communities, 16 is peace, justice, and strong institution. If you follow critically my explanation since, you discover that all of these are actually embedded in social development rather. All of these are embedded in sustainable social development. So basically now we'll be looking at the ecological economics and social equity. Ecological economics. So let's look at the principles of ecological economics and the critics. And ecological economics is an interdisciplinary field that explores relationship between ecological system and economic system. Are you together with me? They challenge conventional economics by emphasizing the biophysics limited of the planet. So basically, when we talk about the ecological system, this is what we are talking about. How the ecological system interact and relate with the economic system. It challenges conventional economics. So ecological economics is different from the conventional economics. It challenges conventional economics, but it emphasizes on the biophysical limit of the planet. It looks at the importance of equity and the need for sustainable scale rather than unlimited growth. So these are the issues that surround ecological economics. The focus basically is on the ecological system and economic system. So there is a marriage there. There's a relationship there. And the relationship is what happened between the ecosystem and the economic system. The core principles of ecological economics. Number one is an economy embedded in the environment. When we are talking about ecological economics, we are talking about an economy that is embedded in the environment. Is embedded in the environment. That is the first core principle. But anytime we talk about ecological economy in sustainable social development, we are looking at economy that is embedded in the environment. Number two, it has a sustainable scale. That is the scale it operates. Number three, it has strong sustainability. Strong sustainability. When we look at intergenerational and intergenerational equity. What do we do now? How does it sustain the future? That is strong sustainability. So the ecological economy is not just focusing on now. It's talking of how do you use the environment sustainably to yet again benefit from it in the future. Then we have the precautionary principle. I've talked about that. Then we talk about the valuation beyond market. When we talk about the gross GDP, the cost benefit analysis, and we look at how do we value the land? How do we value the environment beyond the immediate profit we are going to get from it? Then we look at the pluralizing and interdisciplinarity. To give us a better understanding, let's do a quick comparison. A quick comparison. Okay. Sorry, let me enlarge this to okay. We want to look at a comparison between the ecological economics versus the neoclassical economics. And the first aspect we looked at is the nature of environment. The neoclassical economics look at the external to the economy, while the ecological economics look at the foundation of the economy. While the neoclassical look at the external features, the things around, the ecological look at the foundations, the environmental foundations of the economy. And the focus of the neoclassical economy is just efficiency and growth. Why the focus for ecological economy is actually sustainability and equity. How do we sustain the environment? And how will the environment be used without marginalization, without disparity, without one class of the society having advantage over another? Basically, that is the focus. Then for resource substitution is I, that is capital in nature. That is why the ecological economic is limited and to some natural capital that are irreplaceable. Then the growth assumption for the neoclassical economics, the growth is infinite growth possible. But for the ecological growth has biophysical limit. There's a limit for ecological economics they can go. They can't go beyond the biophysical limit. Then there's a violation of nature, which for the neoclassical is market-based. For the ecological economics is intrinsic and instrumental values. So it's within. So for the goal of the neoclassical economic is utility maximization. What do we mean by that? How do you derive maximum satisfaction from everything you are consuming? How to enjoy the best, not minding the future. But the ecological economists look at long-term system, the health and the justice. So these are the basic differences between the neoclassical economics and the ecological economics. Any question before I proceed? Can I progress?
Yes, sir.
Can I forge ahead?
Yes, sir, you can forge ahead.
Let's look at the critics of ecological. Okay, are you hearing me now? Let's quickly look at the critics of ecological economics. Number one critic is difficulty in policy translation. You can have very good policy, very good ones written, but to translate them into reality is always a challenge. It's always difficult. The second critique is the issue of valuation challenges. How to value the environmental issues are really challenges. Look at the climatic issue, look at the other stuff related to the environment. You can mostly quantify them in money. The neoclassical you can quantify. Then we look at the normative bias. There are certain things that are biased naturally. So these are some of the critics. They have limited influence on mainstream economics. The ecological economics has limited influence on mainstream economics. Then the idea of growth versus the growth debate. You can't really picture what is growing. So these are quite critics involved in the ecological economics, difficulty in policy translation, valuation challenges, normative bias, limited influence on mainstream economics, and economic growth versus the growth debate.
Account number.
Any question? Let's look at the influence and application of ecological economics. The concept of the ecological footprint. One of the influence is the concept of the ecological footprint. The background noise. The background noise is getting too much.
Oh, no, go feel it. Mute your mic, please. Oh, then go mute your mic. Oh, then go. Your mic is on. Mute it, please.
Sir, you can mute everybody from your own.
Sir, can you go over the critics again, sir? Thank you.
Basically, the critics one is a difficulty in policy translation. You see some of those policies well written but cannot be implemented. Valuation challenges, some of those things can environmental economic, ecological economic cannot be valued in terms of quantity. Some of them are perception basis. And I say they are normative bias. That I say limited influence on the mainstream economics. That the ecological economy does not have much influence. Their influence on the mainstream economics are limited. Then growth versus the growth debate. Ugba, can I hear you? Ikpa.
Yes, sir. And can you give us an example of a policy that is difficult to translate? Just
that makes it more better. I've been looking for opportunity like this. Can we discuss as a class now? So what are the policies do you think that are difficult to translate from your own point of understanding? I want to make it interactive. I've been talking. It must not be you that will answer it. I want others to make their input. Policy, if you want to talk, you raise up your hand. I will give you opportunity to talk. What do you think the very beautiful policies on land issues, environmental issues, that has been difficult to be implemented or translated into reality? I'm expecting a response from us. I'm listening. If you don't talk, I will call name. Those of you that are making noise, I say you should talk now. Hello.
can I also say something if it's close to it, like in our environment?
Okay.
Don't really have. Maybe we do. Of course, we do have policies on dumping of refuse here and there, but we don't see them being enforced.
Okay.
We don't. So it's like in Makudi. It's like
Okay.
they are now comfortable with parking this refuse by the roadside. The government vehicles come and pack it, pick them away, and so it's like it's okay. It's okay for you to just climb in the middle of the tire road and drop your dustbin so that the government can pick it. But during sanitations and all that, we hear them making announcement that they should drop your at the appropriate place. I don't think there's any great place anyway. So I don't know if something like that has been implemented or.
So indiscriminate dumping of waste everywhere on the street. There are policies that are against it, but difficult to be implemented. Any other person? This young man that is making noise from the background, since we are going to remove you from the class. I'm going to report you from the class. Okay, Richard.
Don't be wise, sit down, design this thing. I design this thing.
Owner of all lands.
There are many voices from the background, so I'm not hearing.
So I was talking about,
Richard.
I think.
I did PG school. I did PG school.
Land use.
Please, can you talk to that young man that is disturbing us in the class?
No one, I was so finished with the system and my boy, when we make what you know, do you say that system here? If I come now until I go down to South Port before I go pick that system, I don't call that money.
Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Hold on first.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. You can go on now.
Okay, I was just thinking, policy like a land use policy, whereby the state government is said to be in control of all lands, but in implementing this, you see the local communities often conflicting with the state government, whereby it becomes difficult for state government to even use the land as it should be, given what is as prescribed by the law.
Well, I know for the land use policy and the rest, the government are still in charge. No matter what the private, the locals are doing, they are not in. If the government want to collect land from you today, they will collect, sir. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So that is actually implementing that is not difficult. Implementing that is not difficult. So we would like us to brainstorm the more after now. What are some of those policies, ecological policies that has been difficult to translate into reality? There are many of them. You can imagine the issue of deforestation. If you are in Makurdi with me, just come and stand by the Union Agri gate. You see a lot of them coming out with charcoal. You see pickups coming out with multiple bags of charcoal because there are policy against it, but they are finding it difficult to implement them. These are my communicating.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. I also want to contribute.
So can we make progress now? Okay, yes. Who is that? Raise up your hand. Let me see your hand.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm not seeing the hand, but go ahead.
Sir, I want to speak in respect to the issue of policy and translation. For example, the issue of this anti-open grazing law in the state here that prohibit herders grazing openly. There is a serious difficulty in the realization of that policy. So it is one of those things that is a problem as far as policy translation is concerned, sir.
That's a good input. Any other input? Can we put your head now? I have a long way to go. Thank you for all your input. So let's quickly proceed to the influence and application ecological economics. The first I say is the concept of the ecological footprint. Ecological footprint. So it is basically a concept from the ecological economics. Then we have the issue of development of sustainability indicators. Sustainability indicators. One of the sustainability indicators is what we call the GDP. What is GDP?
Genuine
I've
progress.
said it before.
Genuine progress.
Yes, the gross domestic project, and we also have the Human Development Index, the HDI. I talk about the GPI, the Genuine Progress Indicator, the Gross Domestic Product, the Happy Planet Index. All of these concepts are developed from the concept of ecological economics. Ecological economics. Then we have what we call the support for the growth and post-growth movement. The growth and post-growth movement. Let me ask us the question, what do we understand by the growth? And what do we understand by post-growth? Any input? What is the growth?
Okay, for that your account, huh? We don't see
What is the growth?
If I would say,
yes, sir.
By the growth, we mean when there is some sort of content, when there is no acceleration of growth. Then for post-growth, for post-growth, it means that even when there is advancement in growth, but then there is still advancement in growth. What we may consider a developing society, taking the development to a higher level, a higher degree of the basic, from the basic.
Okay.
Okay. Any other input? What is the growth and what is post-growth?
Okay, sir. I raised my hand. It looks like you didn't notice. Yes, sir. I'm here.
You guys is submit though.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Hello, sir. Okay, so in my own understanding,
I'm hearing you.
The growth usually happens in advanced countries where they think or they start advocating that okay, maybe there should be a planned reduction of production and consumption so that it will improve human well-being. Then what's the other one, sir?
Post-growth.
Okay, post-growth.
Okay, for the want of time, when we talk, for the want of time, let me make progress, because in the next 28 minutes, they will log us out. When we talk about to support for the growth and post-growth movement, the growth is actually when you are to reduce economic activities. Are you together with me? Reducing economic activity that leads to production or productivity. There are some of the economic activities that hamper the environment. So when you are encouraging the reduction, that is basically actually the growth. That is the growth. So post-growth is also online with such comment. When you are basically It's actually a perspective that recognizes the limitation of infinite economic growth. Post-growth recognizes the perspective of infinite economic growth. It means that there are growth that continues. It's a continuous growth. That is actually a post-growth. But the growth is that you are ensuring that economic activities are reduced, particularly because some of them have negative effects on the environment. Then I'm saying that ecological economic support for the growth. Then another influence is climate change policy. Ecological economics have so much influence on climate change policy, especially on carbon budgeting and planetary boundaries. Is very key. Then another influence is the natural capital accounting and ecosystem violation. How to value the ecosystem, place value on the ecosystem. And the natural capital accounting, there are some natural things that can be figured out in quantity, not just in quality. These are part of the influence and application of the ecological economy. Any question before we move into environmental justice and equity? Let's quickly look at.
Throw more light on the action. Thank you.
Sir?
It will be pleasant if you throw light on all the influences of the whole thing.
I have taken time to explain the concept of ecological footprint. I've explained development of sustainability. Can you be specific? What exactly do you want?
All the influences.
What is your question? Because it cannot be all the influences. I've explained them. Tell me, which one do you really have problem? I've explained them. Which one is your concern? You cannot have problem in all the influences. It means that you are not following us. Problem number one, I said the concept of ecological footprint. And when we talk about ecological footprint, we are talking about the of amount of land and water required to produce resources. A population consume and absorb of ecological footprint is a measure required for production and recycle. These are basically the ecological footprint. Then the development of sustainability indicators beyond GDP. I say instead of just looking at GDP or human development index, we look at things like genuine progress indicators. We look like Happy Planet Index. All of these are index you can use to measure sustainability. Then I talk about support for the growth. And I say when we are talking about the growth, we are saying policy that deactivate productivity. And post-growth is an infinite growth, a continuous growth movement. And I say this ecological economy has so much influence on that. And I talk about climate change policy. There are a lot of policies that are emanating as a result of the ecological economics on climate changes. especially on carbon budgeting.
Yes.
A lot of planetary boundaries, have been placed on usage of certain atmospheric things. Then we talk about natural capital accounting and ecosystem service violation. There are ecosystems that needed to be valued.
That is it.
They don't just happen. If those things are management and resource allocation, do you understand now? What do we mean by environmental justice?
We have lost contact to the lecturer. We are hearing only background noise.
Hello?
Doc, we have lost contact with you, sir.
Nina, you are really something else, honestly.
Okay, guys, I think we really need to stick into to instructions. So, Pa, so To Pap Teso, to Kwase, Yobe Sune Richard, Gemga, and Besu Komaden. You people should off your mics, please. To Pap Teso, please off your mic. Teso, to Pap, please off your mic. Gemga, please off your mic.
I think there's a problem.
Gemga, you are struggling to off your mic. There's no problem with
your... We have lost contact with him, I guess.
Yes. He's still there. He's still there. I think his network went bad. Gemga, tap on your screen. Down on your screen, you see where they are written mute. Press on that mute to cross the sign. Please. I'm trying to reach out to the HOD, please. Okay, so guys, Dr. Abba is having challenges with his network. I have contacted the HOD and then they are on it. He related the same message to me. So let's be patient.
We all log out. Sorry for that. Are we together? Are we back now?
Yes, we are with you, sir.
Yes, sir. We are with you, sir.
Yes, we're with
Sir,
you.
Are you with
we're
me
with
now?
you, sir.
Yes, we're with you, sir.
Okay.
Welcome
Thank you.
back, sir.
Sorry for the bridge in network. So let me just go through the last thing I was explaining. Did you follow me when I was talking about social equity?
No, sir. At that
Hello?
point, your network was breaking, so we couldn't hear you.
Okay.
Sir,
Then
you
after
opened a environmental justice.
Okay, environmental justice. I tried to explain what environmental justice is all about and the principle. You remember I talked about the principle? Did you follow me to that point?
No, we have
No,
not
sir,
discussed.
you only mentioned environmental
Pardon?
justice. You were about doing justice to it, then it went off, sir.
Environmental justice.
Okay. I say environmental justice is a fair and meaningful involvement of all groups. Fair and meaningful involvement of all groups, whether they marginalize, the vulnerables, all of them are involved, regardless of their race, regardless of their color, regardless of their national origin or income, in environmental decision making, in law enforcement, and access to natural resources. I explained that everybody have access to fair treatment. No matter your level of income, no matter where you are coming from, it is ideal and expected that all are involved in environmental decision making, in access to natural resources. Some people should not be discriminated against accessing natural resources. In law enforcement, all of these are very, very key. They are very, very what? Key. Then I proceeded and discussed the principles of environmental justice. And under the principle, I explained three concepts. I said, number one, no group should bear a disproportionate share of environmental harm. Every group are entitled to share it equally. The marginalized should not be disadvantaged. When we talk about waste disposal or pollution, as the case may be, then we talk about equal access to environmental benefit, equal access to clean water, equal access to green space, equal access to safe water, to clean air, green space, and safe water. All groups should have access to it. They shouldn't be discriminated upon. That is the principle of environmental justice. Then they should have community participation in environmental policies and decisions. Community participation in environmental policy. The community should participate in formulating policy. Policy should not be top-bottom alone. Policy can be bottom-top driven. Decision making should not be just top-bottom. Decision making can be originated from the community. These are the basic issues on the environmental justice. Then I went further to explain social equity in sustainable social development. And as a social equity refers to the fair and just distribution of resources, opportunities, and services across all segments of society. Now, when you are distributing resources, opportunity, and services, it should be distributed across. It should be fair and just distribution. Some category of people should not have advantage over the others. The rich should not have advantage over the poor. The marginalized should not have disadvantage over those that are the elite. Then I say there are basic things that are involved in sustainability, the concept of sustainable social development. Number one is access to education. Both the poor, the displaced, the marginalized, everyone should have access to education. Everyone should have access to health care. Everyone should have access to housing and employment. Then we look at protection from discrimination and systemic inequality. That the marginalized people, the vulnerable, should be protected from discrimination. There's a systemic inequality. There's an inequality in our system that is systemic. They should be protected against. And finally, I say inclusion of marginalized voices in governance and policy. We should be able to include the marginalized. Their voice should be heard. Their complaints should be heard. In so doing, we are talking about social equity. For the want of time, when we come tomorrow morning, we'll be looking at the intersection of environmental justice and social equity interact. There is an interaction between environmental justice and social. So with this, I will stop here. I've been asking any question before the page will go off. Thank you for listening. Yes, Augustine, quick, we have 1 minute to go.
Sir, thanks. Thanks for your without making any preambles. You are talking of sustainability is what should be done to keep the generation burning. So my simple question is, if top government functionaries embezzled money and save for yet unborn children, is it sustainable? Thank you, sir.
Does that look like an sustainable social development? That is a thief. That person is a criminal. It's not sustainable. And many of them, even their children can't use that money because that is a cost money.
Okay.
That is a cost money, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Don't go and steal government money for your children, no.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
It's okay,
Yes,
sir. I've got to use that.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I want to ask a question.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Is it possible for us to have the cost outline for this course for further research and studies?
Yes, I have it. By tomorrow, you will get that.
Thank you, sir.
Time has gone. I was to start from that point, but because we started late because of network, I just decided to make progress. You will get it.
Okay, sir.
Thank you for good listening. And for those that disturbed my class today, I pray that God will change your mind. There's one teacher in our midst that is teaching in the class and attending the class. There's another one disturbing from his village. Don't do that tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Musa. Thank you, Jigba. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Kabuto. And the rest, thank you.
Hello.
Thank you,
yes,
sir.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.